All nuclear power plants have a lifetime limit, and that's for various reasons such as embrittlement, wearing out of components, and so on. And the Koeberg life limit was 40 years. And since it started in 1984, it means that it comes to the end of its life in 2024. However, Eskom have announced that they want to extend the life by another 20 years, and this is deeply problematic for several reasons. When the plant was designed in the early 1970s, the safety standards at the time were very different from what they are now. Since then, we've had three major international nuclear incidents: 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Fukushima. And each time there have been new safety features which have become requirements for new nuclear plants. However, none of those are in place at Koeberg. And it seems that Eskom intends to extend the life, but we don't know which, if any, of those modern safety features will be retrofitted. Already at Koeberg, there are over 1.5 million kilograms of high-level waste, and that problem is only going to get worse as the years go by. Nuclear power is a fuel-based technology. It is not renewable, and it is not sustainable, and it is dangerous to operate and leaves a legacy to future generations for hundreds of thousands of years of toxic waste. The Department of Mineral Resources and Energy have also announced that they wish to build a new nuclear plant in the country of about 2,500 megawatt capacity. There are two sites under consideration. One is Taspunt, and the other is here behind me at Danafontein. While the risk of a major nuclear accident is small, the question is it worth the risk? So if there's some kind of serious accident at the Koeberg plant, it would mean that the evacuation plan is put into effect. And that would mean conservative estimates are 250,000 people would have to be moved. But that assumes the 16-kilometer evacuation zone. I traveled to the Fukushima area in 2012, 1 year after the disaster. So here we are, day one in Japan, on our way to Fukushima. There were areas that were found had to be evacuated up to 42 kilometers away. If we look at Cape Town and the location of Koeberg, if we draw a circle that wide, we start getting into millions of people who would be displaced. There's a serious issue with an evacuation plan in an area like this. It's one thing when everyone has a car and can just hop in the 4x4, but people here rely on public transport. So if there was a need for an urgent evacuation, it's difficult to see how it's really going to work. The plan calls for buses to be used, but if you talk to any of the bus drivers, they're not aware that they're part of the plan. So there's a major question about acceptance. If you were a bus driver and you've been told there's a dangerous nuclear event, please drive towards it and go pick people up, it's questionable how much compliance there would be with that. There's also the question about what would happen next. A nuclear disaster doesn't mean evacuating people for a day and then they go home. It would make this area impossible to live in for hundreds of years. In terms of the current context, it makes no sense to build new nuclear power. The global trend is very clear. The number of nuclear plants in operation and being constructed is declining every year. We know what the future is. It's a renewable energy future. And South Africa is in a position where it can leapfrog over the mistakes made by other countries. And one of those mistakes is nuclear power. We should not be investing billions of rand in a new plant, nor billions of rand in having an aging old plant patched up so it can run a few more years. We should be looking to the future and spending our money, time and energy on renewable energy installations.